Kiki, it's such an honor to be next to you, talking about this great project for Paramount Plus. I want to ask you, when did you first get involved with the TV series Halo?
Yeah, I've been involved with the TV series since the very beginning.
7 years ago?
Yeah, back in 2013, after shipping Halo 4, we started really talking in earnest about, kind of a longer form storytelling.
And you've been working in this industry for a long time, building video games, legendary video games, applications. How did you find to get into this medium compared to what you've done before?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. There's so many similarities and differences between developing a video game and something like this, a television series. But I will say my focus in video games has always been around storytelling and visual storytelling, and sort of narrative in games is where my passion was. But getting into this scale of production and what it takes was a whole new thing, which was incredible, right? To be able to take what I've learned over decades in the game industry and hopefully bring that to my involvement in the show, and then learning from the best in the business.
We're talking about gambling, entertainment. Did you get to talk with Spielberg, for example, about the show?
Yeah, early on we met when we were talking to Amblin, and incredible meeting, A, because you're actually in a room with Steven Spielberg, and B, because he had so much knowledge around video games and around Halo in particular, and that was just, what a secure feeling to know that you're in the hands of a master craftsman who also has knowledge and love and respect for your IP.
Yeah, that must be amazing. Did he gave any insight that you were, for example, surprised that you remember and say, oh, okay, I didn't think about this, or this is a...
Yeah, so early on he had a lot of good thoughts around sort of direction and what's exciting about Halo. As we got deeper into production, he had all sorts of things, such as Ready Player One,
yeah,
the first one, right, and then the second. But he was always sort of a strong guiding force in the background, which was amazing.
And you're like the strong guiding force in the Halo universe in the TV series. Like you're the guardian of the story, the keeper. How did you decide what to twist a little bit, or what to be exactly similar to the game? How did you did that?
Yeah, I mean
dance?
That was I wish that there had been sort of easy just to set clear-cut rules. The rules that I defined were not to violate the sort of core pillars of Halo, the things that at least I connect to very deeply, which are those themes of hope and heroism and humanity and the wonder of sci-fi.
What else are you willing to sacrifice?
Everything. What's the point in saving humanity if we're gonna give up our own?
The truth could bring us all down.
How was it for you, coming from the video game world, to get into this physical, this TV or this film part of the storytelling process?
Yeah, I mean, physicalizing the universe that we'd lived in for so long was such an interesting process and so creatively exciting. I would say that there's a lot of things we can do in CG and in the games that's harder to do in real life, and by that I mean, movement in the armor, how the Covenant move. There's a lot of things we discover that we sort of cheat a bit in the games in terms of how pieces can intersect in a way that in the physical world they can't. So that was a really interesting process.
I want to ask you, do you think in the future video games and movies or TV series, there won't be a boundary between them somehow?
I mean, I think there's less of a boundary than people think of, right? I think you have to look at it as, how am I ingesting a compelling story, right? And one way of ingesting a compelling story is to be engaged in it as a character with a controller in your hand and leaning forward and playing. And another way to engage with a story is to sit back and be led on a journey and enjoy a story that's being told to you. And so, I think that's the thing that people are starting to realize is that line has never crisply been there. It's really just a choice of how you want to experience a story. And I think the worlds that we build in video games are as vast, if not in some ways vaster, than sometimes we see in film or movies. Books is the most expansive way to build these giant worlds and stories. And so to me, it's all about these storytelling experiences and how you bring people in and have them connect to characters and places and sort of build that love in being there.
Kiki, I want to thank you for your work, your time. It's been an honor speaking with you, and good luck with the show on Paramount Plus this 24th of March.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
We're all we have now. It's just us.